We are live. It is 3:08 Central Standard Time in the United States. 8:08? Is it 8:08?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, 8:08 GMT in the UK. This time change is messing me up. I have to think 5 hours instead of 6. Anyway, it's a Nomad project with Sam and Joe.
Hey.
Coming to you live this 23rd of March. As you can see on the stream, we don't have a guest this week. That's okay. Sometimes we don't have guests. We aren't exactly swimming in popularity around here at the project. So, sometimes it's just Joe and I, which is okay.
Yeah, sometimes we just don't bother reaching out to anyone.
Yeah, we don't. And I did reach out. Now, I am going to see if he comes on today. I did reach out to Shark, but I did it on Twix. And so maybe he doesn't use Twix very often. If there's a better way to get a hold of him, I did reach out to him like literally Sunday night or Monday morning saying, hey, you want to come on? So I did reach out to Shark, trying to get him on, but he never responded. So he might not use Twix. I don't know. I don't remember. So it's cool.
In the chat.
Aditya is in the chat. Jimmy's in the chat. Jimmy Fire Dragon. So anyway, and then if you are watching the stream, congratulations. Great. Now, just so you know, I figure we might have a lower viewership today. Why? Because right now, currently on the Tech Disruptors, they are TK Bay, our Bay, their Bay.
Sam, don't tell them that. They'll bugger off and leave us.
It's okay because this is an audio show. They can watch the live stream. We don't have a guest. They've got a guest, and then I guess we got two. So the problem is we didn't go off at because of the time change. Joe can't go off it earlier because we need to get to BST. We have a 6-hour difference. So we're off at 3, which is our normal time, but that's their time too, because it's all good. So anywho, it's not a big deal.
Not a big deal. It's all good.
Not a big deal. So I'm sorry you weren't feeling well. Well, hopefully physically you're feeling a little better. I know that's hard when you're physically not feeling better and mentally and stuff like that. So it's okay. You don't have to join. You can always listen afterwards. That's all good, too. That's the whole point of this. Remember, this is really an audio show. This has never really been intended to be a live stream. This is just we record. We happen to do the live stream so folks can – really the only reason we do the live stream is so that folks can watch live and then make comments and participate, and so that helps with the show. So it's really – honestly, it's really meant to be an audio show. It really was never really designed to be a video podcast. So it's cool. No big deal. We so Joe has a new hoodie or
I do, yeah. Jumper? So I went to an honor event.
Jumpers are sweaters, right? Jumper's a sweater. This is a hoodie as a hoodie. Is a hoodie
because it's got a hood.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, well I didn't know. I mean, so anyway, so he's got and
I thought this week.
Yeah, I thought it was more of like a military or honor heroes, right?
Honor heroes.
Right, and I find out that it's actually what I guess that's what they call the people who are, I guess it's like the pixel community. They call honor heroes. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That's what. So like the ambassador role is called an honor hero, at least through work it is anyway.
Okay.
So yeah, it's quite cool. We went to an event in Birmingham. I got seeded a new device, so my 200 Pro's gone.
Okay.
And I've got a new Magic 7 Pro in Breeze Blue. Ooh.
That's nice. But you already have the 7 Pro in the black, right? In
the black, yeah. So eventually I'll switch that up because there's no point in having two of the same phone. But yeah, I really like this blue. That's exclusive on the website, so you can't get that at any carrier.
It almost looks kind of like the blue color, although that was like a pearlescent blue that was on the P30 Pro. I remember having.
Which, to be fair, it probably looks more blue on the camera than what it is. It's very, in some light, it just looks silvery. Really nice.
that one kind of pearlesced. It was like a pearlescent. So it was in that same vein on the Huawei on the P30 Pro. I think I don't know if it was ever on the regular P30. The P30 I had was it was like a gray.
I like where it says honor. Look.
Yeah, it's a nice phone.
It's very nice.
So I guess the question is it because of work, or do you really like the honor? Like, I guess the question
is a couple of reasons why I've gone for this ambassador role. store leaders aren't normally allowed to do them in recent times. And when we took the Honor brand back on, they said, "Oh, store leaders can do it." So I said, "Great, I'm actually allowed to do an ambassador role. I'll go for it." But Honor are actually a brand I am generally quite excited by, so it would be one I'd pick anyway. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and did you? I thought you uploaded your Pixel, right? Do you actually own a Pixel now, or no?
Oh, I still got it at the moment. That's what I'm on right now. Okay. But it is going off to a new home. Yes.
Cool.
Got a decent price for it. So they're selling their 8 Pro and upgrading to this. So
cool.
Good deal.
So is that the first? Has that been a while since you've not had a Pixel device, or is it?
Yeah, I'd say been first time for a long time actually. I've always got one hanging about, haven't I? Normally, maybe I'll pick up a 4XL again somewhere.
Yeah. Well, or speaking of that, or the 9A that's coming out that looks pretty interesting.
Yeah, it got delayed though in the UK. Did it get delayed everywhere in the US as well?
It might have got delayed in the US. I just happened to see some of the news about it, and I seen a couple of videos. I didn't actually watch any of the videos about the new one, but I noticed that I do see that.
Doesn't excite me.
I think Michael Fisher did one, but I think he's a little bit upset about the fact that the bar is going away. It's just kind of like these two little.
Yeah, it's the identity of Pixel, isn't it? I'm not too keen on what they've done, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I made a comment in another. There's another Twix thread. I can't remember what it was, but I basically said it's really given me kind of an essential phone kind of vibe to it on the back. It's got that flat look to it. I don't know. It just looks like an essential phone, which is fine. I mean, I like the essential phone, and I've never really been an A series buyer. I've always either got this is the first time I got an XL device or a Pro device for Pixel. Usually I got the 6, the 7, and the 8. It was always the vanilla base model because I like
maybe the A buyers would actually prefer a more simple look, more basic look to it. I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know. The problem is you have to think are they buying it because it's a Pixel and they can get one for it's a pretty good, I guess mid-range device, or are people buying it who are already Pixel fans who want that Pixel aesthetic? I don't know. Maybe it's a little bit of both. I would say it's probably just because that kind of thing. Like, I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure. I don't think. I think people who maybe bought Pixels who like that having that visor on the back would really kind of be bummed out about this.
Yeah, I think so.
But yeah, and I reached out to Michael Pepper. He's busy today. And actually, it was quite last minute. Actually, next week we have a recorded guest, so we have that. And I'm not going to give that away because I want to kind of be a little bit of a surprise. But yeah, you can always come on. I don't know, maybe. And the problem is, I will also have to tell everybody that the week of that Sunday, the April the 6th, I am not going to be in town. I will be in Mississippi on a golf tournament. Not a tournament. It's not even a tournament. It's a golf trip where we just play. And so Sunday morning I will be leaving, but I'll be 5 hours away. I actually might make it. I don't know. It depends on when I leave, but it's about a 5-hour drive from Mississippi back to St. Louis. So
okay.
that may be a shaky thing. So we'll see. But next week we have a recorded guest. So we might be able to do both, right? Be able to have an actual show, and I don't know. We could probably do both.
Yeah, we might be able to.
So we'll see. We'll reach out, and I know you're quite busy, so thank you for being interested in coming on. Appreciate that as always. So I don't know. I don't know why. I'm kind of bummed out by the 9A, the design. I kind of like the visor. I kind of, now that I think about it, I kind of like the visor on. I don't like the pill. Like this, it's always kind of bugged me on this. Where
you said before.
The islands out. I kind of like it where it goes and it meets the chassis, right? I kind of like what
you prefer Geordie the Forge going right round.
Right. I just right round, baby, right round. Like a record. Yeah. Anyway. No, I think if you're asking me, just from a visual standpoint, I kind of like where the visor actually meets the frame. I think I kind of prefer that better. And not to say that I don't like this at all. This is okay. I don't know. I kind of like the where it's not an island where it actually meets the frame. I
don't like the iPhone clone. That's what it kind of feels like.
Right.
I don't know why. It didn't feel right to me. I mean, a lot of people love this Pixel 9 Pro XL, and I can see why. But for me, just something weren't right. Maybe it's because of I'm trying different things at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, with the flat sides, and well, I mean, it seems like all the phones are going to that, right? And so, well,
yeah,
the Samsung, Apple, Google's, right? So
Samsung, it didn't feel like an iPhone to me when you put it in your hand,
right?
Whereas this, it kind of does. Just the front is not a pill shape; it's a little punch hole instead.
Oh, yeah. So DT noticed. So it's yes. Okay. So it is. It's actually it's a candle, right?
Oh,
So these are like
surely
those
Deitch seen that before.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he's just noticed it. So, anyways, it's a candle that's at a candle shop here in San Diego. So it's like a Catholic kind of, and they had it's Dwight from The Office. Yes, it is, and that's who it is. And they have a whole bunch of other people. So yeah, it's been sitting there for a while. So yeah, I'm glad he noticed that. So yeah, yes, that's
Sam's a big Dwight Schrute fan, aren't you?
I don't know. I like The Office, and I just thought it was kind of cool because I just and they had a bunch. They had like
who's your favorite character then? Is it Dwight or would you say
probably
someone
Dwight?
else?
Yeah, Dwight. I mean, and the funny thing is, I never really was a huge fan of the show. I watched it. I just like the clips. I just think he's funny as hell.
You don't like the show?
The show's okay.
I think it's pretty damn good. I love it.
Well, it is, but I'm not a TV watcher. A lot of people watch shows, and I haven't never been that. Even when I was a kid,
I could binge watch that one.
Oh yeah, well yeah. In The Office, actually, I like the British version of The Office, the one.
I do too. Yeah. I do too.
So I like them both. I think the only show I ever watched from like beginning to end, where I binge watched it, was Breaking Bad, and that was after it already had been done. It was completely done, and I kind of just was like, you know what, I'm gonna see if this show. I keep hearing the show is really great, so I'll watch it. And what's kind of nice about it, if you wait till a show is already completely over with, you don't have to wait for a season.
Joe, on that note, you're kind of rocking Walter White right now.
Yeah, I know. I cut my hair. So this is now for folks who haven't known me for many, many years. This was kind of the way I always shave my head like this. I mean, it's not bald.
No.
But what happened was I had those cysts on my head. So Becky had said that basically while I have those, I wasn't allowed to cut my hair like this. I wasn't allowed to do this. Fast forward to now the fact that the bumps are going away. It's got a couple of little scars, but who cares? So yeah, the other day it's one guard. And I just basically one guard my whole head, and that's what it is. I haven't never really shaved it bald. I think about doing it, but I just have to. I don't want to bick it, and because I had a friend who did that one time. And he bicked his head, and he came to work, and it was like, there were like little razor bumps, like all. It looked miserable.
No, get one of them things to bring it down to like a skin.
Yeah, they have like little handheld little shaver deals.
I've seen them.
I see them all the time, and I'm like, I don't know if they work, and so I haven't really thought about it. This is kind of
anyone can recommend one to Sam. Just drop a little message to us.
Yeah, for all the people who shave their heads in the chat, if you shave your head, let me know. But
I wonder what Dan uses. Grounded Tech.
I have to ask him. Let's see what he's got. And again, I don't dislike it. I think I kind of prefer the visor all the way across. I like the pill. It's not off-putting, and I do like the fact that the design is fine. I would prefer non-flat sides. I think I'd like to have that little bit of a curve. I kind of wish I could get a curved back too, because I still like the way the HTC 10 felt. Well, and then it doesn't have to be necessarily metal, although if it was metal, that would be cool. I kind of liked the way it curved. It kind of just fit. The HTC 10 to me is one of like the best phone designs, probably of any phone I've ever used. I really, really miss the HTC. I didn't really care for the U12 Plus and the U11 because it's glass back, and then and I didn't like on the U12 I had like the buttons were actually like capacitive. They weren't actually buttons. I could not get into that. It drove me crazy. I liked HTC, but I thought the HTC 10, if they can make that same phone with like current gen specs, or not even current gen, it could be like a MediaTek processor, and it can have what I mean. It doesn't have to be bleeding edge Snapdragon stuff. I would love to try another one of those phones again.
If only HTC. Anyway. Oh, listen to this, Sam. Right. They're no longer doing Sony at O2.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's an interesting one, isn't it?
Well, I think Sony's mobile division is going to be rolled up pretty soon. They're just not market. I mean, they can't sell devices, and
pains me
honestly, yeah, it sucks because I mean, I think the Sony brand really is great, but I mean, they're just not moving units in any market anywhere. I mean, they're not moving them in the UK, they're not moving them in the United States.
I always had customers like saying, "Oh, I'm trying to get
maybe
a Sony
Japan," you know, because
it looks everywhere for them, and they can't get them.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shame, but it's going to be one of those things where, you know, and somebody had made a comment about, I can't remember, I think it was Patrick Rambles, maybe it was. Somebody made a comment about, you know, he kind of like, you know, wishes. And I'm like, well, it's, you know, it's your people like yours fault. And I don't mean to say it to mean his fault, but it's people's fault who don't buy the brand. If nobody's buying HTC and LG devices, they're not going to sell. And if everybody's just buying an iPhone and a Samsung and a Pixel, you know, it's you know, we can't have that many brands. So you can't complain that there's only 3 or 4 different OEMs in the market for Android and, well, a mobile phone, right? Not even because really iOS is by itself. But don't sit there and complain about the fact that you don't have a lot of, you know, you miss HTC and you miss like the wing. It was like, I think it was a comment about the wing. He had made a comment about the wing. I'm like, well, I have a wing. And it's people like you who never bought a fucking wing. That's the reason why, or didn't buy HTC or LG.
Didn't see the benefits. Like, I mean, there was some good stuff. Just because it didn't appeal to everyone.
Or just phones in general. Nobody really supported HTC and LG. I mean, it's like, you know, and they lost carrier support because people were only buying Samsung devices, only buying and
LG used to innovate. So like,
well, they why would you? I mean, you had, you know, the Velvet, you know, you had the waterfall, you know, and you know
that's a smart looking device.
I think they all look great, and they had headphone jacks, they had, you know, and quad DACs, and the cameras were pretty competitive on some of those LG devices, especially the V6. They had a really competent camera. But it's just like, you know, if nobody's buying the phones, you can't expect these companies. I mean, LG and Samsung are major conglomerates. They have tons of money. They have appliance divisions and everything else, right?
Yeah.
They could have kept it going, but it's like, why sit here and fight? Why fight trying to sell 10,000 phones when you, and then they came out with the Velvet and they had the LG V60 with the dual screen case. And that never got, you know, landed at all. I thought that was a pretty good little thing. It just, in the United States, yeah, we should specify when talking about a brand's location. Correct. Yeah, but
so that's what's quite impressive by how well Nothing has done, and brands like Honor actually, because it is tough to make it, and they're both showing some really good growth the last few years. So yeah, big shout out to Nothing and
well, I mean, really. The problem is again, and then luckily in places like Asia and Europe and maybe Africa and South America, Honor can get traction. It's just in the United States, it's Samsung and Apple. That's it. It's Sam Apple, and that's all it's gonna be. That's all it's gonna be.
And Google.
Not really. I mean, Google is like 8% maybe of the market. Yeah, I mean, Google's trying.
They're trying.
And I do see, and to be honest with you, I do see Pixels a little bit more than I used to see. But at the end of the day, let's just be real about it. In the United States, there is 2 brands. There is Apple, and there's a variant of Samsung. Moto does not have traction.
They dominate everywhere, really, don't they?
And they do, but I mean, at least Honor exists. You know, at least, you know, OnePlus devices, you can pick those up in another market. And yes, you can pick them in the United States. But again, I will argue, how many times have you walked into, and this is for people who are like Luis, who's in the United States, who walks around. When was the last time you saw somebody rocking a OnePlus in the U.S. in public, like just walking in Walmart, Costco, walking at the park, whatever? I would honestly, you can't count it on one hand. You can probably count on one hand how many times you've seen it in a year, maybe even 2 years. Every once in a while, you'll see a OnePlus 12, you'll see a OnePlus 11, you'll see a OnePlus. Or you might see a Fold. I still have not seen anybody with their OnePlus open. I've never seen that.
Do you see many Motos? Like, the Moto sell quite well? Was it lower end?
I've seen a couple of the budget, like the Moto G series, like the Power. I've seen a couple of those. I actually ran into somebody the other day who had the Moto G stylus, just like I did, same color and everything. It was an older lady. She might be maybe 60s, and I was like, you know, and I still use this phone. I mean,
Moto is a brand
in it right now.
Kind of has done okay in the US, right?
I mean, in the lower end space, yeah. And I think the Razors actually have kind of have gotten a little bit of attention because of the clamshell, right?
Yeah.
I still think that because they're in stores, I think they still sell more of the Samsung flips than they probably would.
Yeah, yeah.
Although Moto is sale, you can buy it from AT&T. They actually list it on their website. You can actually pick it up.
The Razr brand, though, like that's a separate brand from Moto in a sense that.
Yeah, people almost don't equate it that it's a Moto. They just think it's the Razr.
Yeah,
but I think because of the fact that it was a Moto Razr back in the day, people have like a nostalgia for them. Yeah. I think people can put it together like, oh, that's the old Razr, like the old Moto phones. Yeah, and Moto.
I think people of certain ages would be like, oh, I'll go for that rather than Flip because.
Well, it's first of all, the price is better and the used market's better, and I honestly think that Moto does a really good job with the hardware. I think. I mean, obviously the software and the updates are always, kind of problematic with a Moto because they are. But I think pound for pound, I think the Motorola devices really. I mean, I bought this for $249, and it's got headphone jack. I have a stylus. Right?
You do love that thing, don't you?
Well, and I do, and I do it for a couple of reasons. One, the screen, I've always liked the way the screen looks on this phone. Mm-hmm. And obviously this isn't the Edge, so this isn't like Moto's high end. I know, and I do like the fact that the software is clean.
It's not cutting edge.
It's not, yeah, but right. But it's just like, but for a phone that's $250, it shouldn't feel this nice.
It's ridiculously
nice. This vegan leather back is kind of cool.
It looks slick.
The only phone I've ever seen that I've ever had was the Mi 11 that I had had that eco leather.
You still rock it without a case, just like that?
Oh, I don't. There's no way I'm putting a case on this phone. No way.
Is there pre-applied screen protector?
No. I don't think so. No screen protector either. It's $250.
He's like, I'll just smash it around. I don't care.
Well, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to throw it. But what I'm saying though is when you have a phone like this, and it's like, and I didn't even look in the used market. You could probably pick one of these up used for like $150, $170. But dude,
yeah, no doubt,
$149. It does everything I need it to do. Yeah, every once in a while it kind of gets a little, it struggles a bit, or it takes maybe an extra second to open an app every once in a while. But other than that, it does everything my phone needs it to do. The only thing is the picture quality is kind of, it's a Moto, right? It's a low end Moto. You're not going to get great, stunning pictures, but I mean regular pictures. It does pretty good.
I think they're decent from what I've seen. Like Dan takes some good stuff with Motos.
I mean, he likes Motos too. I think it's a brand that a lot of people, I think, really in the United States, really kind of sleep on.
I'm not going to say his name, but our guest next week actually likes Moto quite a bit as well.
Yeah,
so no doubt we will talk Moto.
OnePlus either. Yeah, well, of course. Well, I mean, I guess in Europe, you're probably going to see that's what I find is interesting. And thinking in Europe. Generally in the EU and the Middle East and Eastern Europe, you're going to see a lot more. I would think you'd see a lot more variants. You're going to see the Xiaomi's, you're going to see the Redmi's, you're going to see the Vivos, you're going to see the Honors, right? You're going to see other Android devices that aren't Apple, and you'll see obviously your share of iPhones. But it's just so much more variance in the EU. Where in the American market, it literally is just Samsung and Apple. It's because they basically have completely bombed. I still think to this day, I think a lot of reason why a lot of phones don't exist was because the market, there's absolutely no marketing thrown behind any of these devices. And it's not an accident that when Google made the 6 and they redesigned the 6, you saw a lot more you saw a lot more Pixel adverts on TV, in the movie theaters, in the cinema. They went all in, and surprise. Oh, imagine that. I know it's a fucking shock, right? Now all of a sudden you have more market share. Holy shit. There you go. I mean, holy crap. It's also available in carriers, right? So they paid the money to make sure they got in. Now, if you ever go into it, or like every AT&T store I go into, the Pixels are way in the back corner.
Oh, really?
Right? Dude, the only thing you see when you first walk in is a big Apple logo with Apple Intelligence.
See, they O2 stores, they pay for pretty premium space.
Right. Not in the United States. It's maybe in the UK because you can buy an Honor at a fucking O2 store.
No, I'm talking about Google Pixel. We're talking about Pixel, right? Yeah. They actually have premium space.
Now, to be fair, I haven't walked into many Verizon or T-Mobile stores, but I would say that in the United States, Apple is king. It just is.
They always have the premium space, though. Always.
It's always in front, and it's because that's what most people are going to want to buy.
And because they pay for that space.
Yeah. Well, I know honestly, I don't. Here's the thing:
Apple pay for that space.
I'm sure they do, but honestly, I don't think Apple. I don't think Apple could. I think they can completely stop marketing their phones and still sell billions of them.
Yeah,
I don't think they have to run an advertisement ever again. They can just, they can put them in the store because everybody's going to walk in with an iPhone in their hand.
It would slow down though, Sam. Like, because what you're saying, I agree with. Like, you have to market your phones. Like, I agree with that. Like,
well, not for Apple anymore. You don't have to market Apple. Apple
so if they stopped, it would slowly decline. It wouldn't drop off, but
no,
I think it would.
No,
So you're coming from a US point of view,
right? And maybe I'm saying, maybe in the United States, I would say in the US, if Apple stopped marketing phones like adverts and stuff, it doesn't matter. Everybody I've ever talked to in the United States who has an iPhone is buying another iPhone. They don't give a flying fuck what's going on with anything else. It's almost criminal to talk to an Apple user. They absolutely will not consider anything other than an iPhone at all. Period. Yeah, you see people on videos. Oh, I switched to an Samsung. I've been a lifelong Apple user. Fuck you. Maybe so. But 95% of the people I talk to who have an iPhone are not in the neighborhood of thinking about switching off. The only way they would stop using an iPhone is if iPhone evaporated and Apple clearly pulled out of the market and they never made an iPhone. Then they'd have to.
Yeah, but you said before you've noticed a lot of people grumbling about the 16 range.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter. People piss and moan about stuff all the time, but to actually buy a different phone, they're not going to do that. Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people who've been big fans of a car brand for a long time who they bought the new upgraded version of whatever car, like a Corolla or a Camry or whatever, and they kind of crab a little bit about, oh, it doesn't have this, and the seats, So
but you're saying it's like being a fan of a sports club, right? And you moan about your team, but you still support them,
right? Are you ever support Tottenham?
Exactly. No, shut up.
No,
Sam.
I mean, not even no. I mean, the same thing with me. I'm a Bears fan. And there's teams not only that I wouldn't cheer for, there's teams I absolutely vehemently fucking hate. aka the Green Bay Packers. That I would rather never watch another fucking American football game ever again if all I had to watch was the Green Bay Packers. I would just stop watching football altogether. I absolutely fucking hate the Green Bay Packers. I don't give a fuck, and you can come at me all you want. Bring all the shade and smoke. I don't care if you're a cheesehead Packer fan. Fine. I don't hate you, but your team sucks a gallon of dick, and I hate the Packers. Fuck them. I mean, I can't stand them.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I just can't stand them. I hate Packers fans. They're just anybody who puts a foam block of cheese on their head is a moron.
Deek's just trying to wind me up now.
Right, I know he's Man United. Well, yeah. See, like what I'm saying. But I mean, to get back to the point, if I talk to most people who are iPhone users, they are so far in that ecosystem. They are so far okay with their phone, even if this newer version, like Becky got the 16. And she, once I got it figured out, once
that was a nice upgrade for her.
She was using a 12. I mean, and also
I went to a Pro as well.
I talked her into a Pro because it has the extra camera because she does like taking pictures. And I thought, I mean, why the hell not, right? I mean, it's only a little bit of money, but also
Lauren enjoys her Pros.
Another reason why I think with Apple, when it comes to like if you're in a carrier thing, is they give such great deals. I mean, they practically give the phones away. When she traded in her 12, it was paid off. Obviously, because we had it she bought it brand new, so we had it 4 years. So it was clearly outside of the money we paid for. But even then, when Becky got that 12, she had traded. At that time she was using my product Red 8 Pro or 8 or whatever it was 8. Yeah, 8 Max.
So she's like a 4-year cycle.
Right about, yeah. And then what happened was when she turned that phone in, she got the 12. I think after all the rebates, I think we only were paying like $9 a month for the iPhone 12.
Nice, man.
It was like they were giving it away. And then when she went in and I asked her, I said, hey, do you want to keep the 12? Because the reason why she was having a problem with the 12 was because of the battery, right? The battery needed to be replaced. I said, do you want to go up to an Apple store and we can get the phone and we can just replace the battery and you're probably good for another year or two, right? Or do you want to just go and say, screw it. Let's just go get another.
Which more people should do, by the way. But
I think so. I mean, honestly, that's what I'm going to try to do. I mean, a lot of the phones that are coming out, I'm just going to I'm going to stay away from them for a while if I can. But she said, no, I think I'd like to get a new phone. So when we took the 12 up there with a battery that I think the battery health was like 71% or 68%. It was bad, right? It was bad. And they didn't even look at it. She just took it and I think we now pay, I think it's $11 or $12.
Nothing.
Whatever.
That's for the SIM and the phone, right?
That's the SIM and the phone. It's like, well, if it's $11 a month for, it's almost like.
What's the minimum term on that?
I think it's 30 months. I think it's 30.
It's not bad, is it?
Might be 24. No. And you can pay for, like they have a thing like an O2, right? They have the next up or early upgrade, and you can pay an extra $10 a month. Then you can upgrade it whenever you want, right? So, but that's what I'm saying is like when you have a situation like that, as opposed to let's say you're in the same boat, right? And you went into an you went into an AT&T store now. And let's say you wanted to trade your iPhone 13 Pro Max or your 14 for let's say you want to try the foldable thing and you look for like a Fold 6, right? It's $52 a month because there's absolutely no incentive to trade to that phone. So why would somebody going to go to a Samsung device that they've never used on a form factor they may never use, or even an S25 Ultra? Now, maybe you can get it now, but if you have that real short window, you got like 2 or 3 months. But let's say later on the cycle, let's say you're in that middle cycle. Like let's say they go in there in July, right? They're not giving the deals anymore because they're not, that push to upgrade is gone. And let's say like, you know what? I've got this 13 Pro Max. I want to try the S25 Plus or S25 Ultra. Let me see what it's about. Well, you walk in and you have to pay full price for it. Or there's no deal. So you trade it in, you have to pay the installment, which is $12.99 divided by 30, right? So you're at what, $40? I'm like, why do that when you can just get another iPhone 17 or 16 Pro Max and it's $2 or $5? They keep the Apple shit all the time. You can trade any Apple phone in any time you want.
So is there like an enhanced recycle that you get on Apple for Apple?
I think so. Well, at least for an AT&T. Again, the other people might have
you can only talk for the network you're with, right?
Yeah, and all I know, and anytime I walk into it, if I go over to AT&T's website right now, if I want to trade in, literally, I think I could pay, I think it's $260, and I could trade this Pixel in right now, and I can either get a Fold 6, which I missed my foldable, or I can get an iPhone. I think I can still pick up an iPhone 16 Pro Max, and I think it's still like $12 or $15 a month, as opposed to $50.
It's huge incentive to go to.
The incentives never go away for Apple. That's why Apple has spent money to make sure that the value proposition.
So Apple must subsidize that,
huh?
Apple must subsidize that for.
They must. It's a $1 trillion company. I would hope so, and that's part of the reason
they must take the device back, right? Enhanced recycle. They take the device back, and then it feeds into the environmental stats as well.
Right. So we'll go through the check. We got the Moto Edge series or G. Yeah. It's a nice phone. Honestly, it's the only thing is it's because it is plastic on the sides. It is flat. I really wish they would. I don't think this is comfortable to hold. I really don't. I like the curve displays. I know it's easier to hold if you're holding it like this. If you're taking pictures, I realize the flat, it gives you more finger grip. I get it, but I like the because I would say you're going to be holding your phone more like this, using it, right, or making a phone call than you would be taking a picture. Unless you're like some of these people in here who seem like all they do with their phones is just take pictures all day, every day, 35 times a day. I don't know. And it's not, I'm not giving them shit. I'm just saying is there are people who maybe use their phone who actually are probably taking more photos and taking photography and videos more than actually would be using the phone or making a phone call. So obviously if you're taking photos, this obviously having the flat edge is way more, gives you a lot more.
Yeah, to be fair, I don't take many phone calls these days.
I don't either. But I definitely do text. I do use my phone, and I don't know. When I hold in the flat edges, I just think it doesn't feel great.
I'll do a lot of messaging.
There's a gap in my hand. I'm holding it. There's like a gap there, right? See?
Yeah.
Whereas I would wish the phone was a little bit curved on the back, like the HTCs, because it just feels better to me. And I also do like but for $249. Everybody laughed at me because they were like, well, but the stylus on the G series, the Moto G stylus phones, it's just it's capacitive. It's not a real stylus. I'm like, well, neither is the S25 Ultra anymore. So you lost that because, how much was that going to cost Samsung? What, $20, $30?
Yeah.
Just keep it in there. It's just you're paying the same. Here's the thing: I always hate when companies say, "Well, we took it out because nobody used it." Okay, well then nobody's using it to make the phone $11.99 instead of $12.99, right? Okay, well fuck it then. If you're gonna take shit away, then make the phone go down. And they don't do that. They go,
That's not going to happen.
They never do it, and people are fucking stupid because they'll buy it anyway. And like I said, no offense, I'm like that too. But I mean, I guess they're like, well, if you don't use the pen, then you won't care. But I would say if any phone company is getting rid of features on a phone that has been a long time feature set for their phones, if you go out and buy that phone, then you're just telling, and then they'll go buy the phone, and then they'll go, the stylus is capacity. Fucking you stepped right into the trap. You don't want it? Don't buy their shit. And eventually they'll either have to reinstate it. But I mean, that was the same thing with the other comment about the LG Wing. People want to complain about, oh man, nobody innovates anymore. Nobody does it. Yeah, because you guys killed it. Because you don't want innovation. You want your fucking iPhone that's the same goddamn thing every single year. Yeah. And then they give you a camera button, which nobody seems to like.
Although everyone seems to be copying.
Right. I just think it's funny. It's like, but people are talking about on the iPhone. I've had more people tell me that my wife's had it, on her 16. I asked her the other day, has they ever used that? She goes, I didn't even know the button was there.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Does she have a case? Yeah. She has two of them. She has a case that's got like a little thing in the back where you can put a couple of cards, like a wallet case.
Oh, yeah.
Because what she would always do is she didn't want to let.
So she doesn't use MagSafe then, right?
No, she doesn't use MagSafe. She doesn't use wireless charging either. I don't think I've ever seen her wirelessly charge a phone ever in her life. She doesn't use MagSafe. But again, my wife's not exactly your typical user because she's she doesn't care. I mean, she literally is when Juan Carlos Bagnell describes the basic user, he's describing my wife to a T. She is like, I want a phone. I'm used to using it. Everybody else uses it, so I got my messaging and my FaceTime and stuff. And it's
nothing wrong with that.
And when she sends messages to my parents or her parents, they're always on their iPads and stuff because their phones are sometimes away on the table charging. But it comes to their iPad, so they don't miss the message. Whenever I message them, they have to be on. It only goes to their phone because yeah. So
they could have other programs on their iPad.
They're 74 years old. Do you think they're going to be downloading WhatsApp? I mean, I can barely get them to use.
Well, no, you could do that for them, Sam.
I did, and you know what they said? We're not doing that. You want to message us on our Apple? Get an iPhone. That's what that was. That was the conversation. Well, you have an Android. Well, that's why. They ain't gonna mess with that. Let's see.
Sucks.
Oh wow!
Did you see my little video I did? Durability on the 7 Lite.
Yeah, pretty good.
So that was at the event I was at. So there was little areas set up with doing different features on the phones.
Right.
And that was quite fun. I didn't do any chopping. I just recorded others doing it. And some of them were really going to town with that knife. And did a good job. Very good job. I was quite impressed myself.
Yeah. I thought, I was actually kind of nice you released a video because I know you've been struggling with that. It was nice just to see you putting some content out there. I thought it was cool.
Well, because of this ambassador role, I felt it. I mean, they've invested in me going up there. I thought at least I could do is make a short from my time there. And that's what impressed me most. I mean, there was other stuff that impressed me. They showed us off the ecosystem with a phone, a tablet, and one of their laptops because they make really nice laptops. They're just not available anywhere, which is annoying.
Yeah, I get it.
But they showcased like a load of stuff, like bringing the phone screen onto your laptop and bringing the mouse across all the devices and all sorts like that. And one of the guys said that when I was at NWC, someone from Samsung kept approaching him saying, "How are you doing that?" Because they wanted to copy some of the stuff, which was quite interesting. But yeah, they've got a really good ecosystem, but they're just not out everywhere. Like I would love one of their Snapdragon X Elite laptops.
Oh yeah,
but they're not available in the UK. That's always the problem, isn't it?
Well, I think that's the problem with any, and then you've got these other companies like Infinix and Techno, right? Who might be making foldables, right? But they're not, they're not going to be everywhere. Like, it's just. And that's the problem. It's because it's regional, right? And I understand that. But I think, and this is what I always told people at Xiaomi, because people really for a while were really kind of on this Xiaomi kick. We're like, hey, man, it'd be nice if you could get. I said OnePlus did that. They tried to penetrate into the U.S. market. They got a carrier deal with T-Mobile, and they didn't sell any phones. And it was like, why? I'm telling you, these. First of all, I think there's a political component, and I hate to say that because it just is. And now you've got, who's currently at 1600 Pennsylvania. You can figure it out. Google that if you want to know what I'm talking about. So that's the problem too. Is it's all that going on. Plus, just
the U.S. market's probably the hardest to.
I would say it's impossible at this point. I would say the U.S. market is literally impenetrable to any other kind of mobile phones. I think it's over. I've said it for years, and unless somebody can put some stats up there that can tell me any differently, but Apple's market share is only solidified or growing. I'm telling you, iPhone is king in the US, and it will be.
You got to say Samsung's done pretty well considering, haven't they?
Yeah, but they've done that because they're the only Android. I mean, there's no other Android market. For them to Moto, nobody else. I mean, they're competing against nobody, and they're competing against.
That's
Google.
what I mean. But for them to get in there and at the right time.
But they've been in there for years. They were before Apple. I mean, you could buy Samsung was making devices in the US, and they were at carrier stores before the iPhone was really a thing.
That's what I mean. LG, so they've had to be there and be steady.
Yeah,
all the way through.
Because remember, all they were competing against was other Android carriers. They weren't competing against Apple. Nobody competes against Apple in the US. You're not competing. You're just hoping to exist side by side with. And so in the United States, if you're an Android person, you have to either buy a phone outright, like this, at a store, which nobody really does, or very few people do, or you're going to go into a carrier store and you're going to get either a Samsung device or you're going to get an Apple device. That is literally the entire American market in a nutshell, and it's super
not too
depressing.
dissimilar in the UK though, if I'm honest, Sam.
Oh yeah,
if you're going to go to a network, I mean, there is other devices available, so it's a little more diluted, but generally it is Sam Apple as well, like just not as bad.
And I mean, and here's the thing: when I say this I'm not saying that they haven't earned that market share. They have. Apple has done a masterclass in the last 15 years on how to grow a brand, a technology brand, a thing that never really should have been a lifestyle device or a badge of honor. They've turned having an iPhone into a flex. It's not just a phone. It's not just a device. It's literally something that shows that you're in the cool kids club. They've made it a lifestyle device to the point where people will actually not date you if you have an Android. That's how completely fucking insane that is. If you say that's
ridiculous.
I mean, who has ever said that when it came to a car? Like, oh, you have a Honda Civic? Well, I'm not dating anybody who owns a Honda. You have to have a Lexus.
I bet there is people that do say stuff like that. But...
Well, again, but that's more about the price of the car.
Yeah.
Right? Because the more the car is, but I'm saying though is Apple has found a way for you, if you're not an iPhone user, for you to be looked down upon in society. For a technology brand or for a company that is only dealing in technology, that is absolutely stunning how to do that. And the problem is you can't capture it. So, and that's just the way it is. And so, and so iPhone users, here's the thing. If you don't like what you like, it's because you've contributed to that. That's why I want to sell Patrick Rambles. Well, the reason why the Wing doesn't exist anymore and LG doesn't exist is because people like you who don't buy LG Wings. I bought an LG Wing twice because I thought it was cool as hell because I like cool shit.
Yeah, two wings.
Yeah, I had I had a LG G8X with the dual screen. It was one of the most. I always wanted a dual screen. Like that.
Yeah.
So I'm about that life, dog. Because I've got. Yeah. I'm that guy.
I like the design of the wing.
Yeah, I'm that guy. Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I'm that guy. Yeah, I'm that guy. I'm not the problem. I've been trying for years to try to tell people that you shouldn't just settle for anything that's thrown at you. You should speak with your wallet. And if the companies are doing something you don't like, stop buying it and make them change. I mean, look what happened with the OnePlus. Remember how much bullshit they got on when they removed the alert slider?
Yeah.
Man, they caught a ton of shit for that. And guess what? Next year,
it was back.
Came right back.
Just
right.
like
Because, yeah.
And now
I
Oppo have it as well, don't they? I think.
And I guarantee you, if on the S25 Ultra, if nobody bought that phone because the stylus didn't have the correct support, and people are like, you know what? If you take that feature away from us and you charge us the money, we are not buying your phone. How much do you want to bet on the S26 Ultra that would come back?
Yeah,
I'd almost guarantee.
Not enough people would do that though.
Yeah. So you get what you get. And at the end of the day, American consumers always have the power because there's other options. You can buy an iPhone. You could buy a Moto. If you're in the UK, you could buy an Honor, right? If Samsung doesn't, when you're ready to upgrade, you might go, hey, man, and what's this Honor phone about? And go, hey, it's a pretty good phone, right? Mm-hmm. And you could get, try something different. And people just don't want to try stuff that's different. The Dreamcast option. Y'all. Yep. Well, and here's the thing. The reason why I can get pissy about it is because I'm that guy, and I would buy stuff that's different. I have had foldables and clamshells and the Razor and Duos and Wings and Velvets. I've had all of it. I always told people used to look at me and laugh when I'd have my Duo in public. They go, man, I don't think I could use something like that. I said, you could. You'd have to change the way you use the device. You could. But the problem is you're not going to, and you don't have to. It's fine. Do whatever works for you. But when you realize that at the end of the day, when everything starts to once these brands start to consolidate and all you're left with is an iPhone or an Android device, Samsung or Apple, and they give you whatever they give you, when you go to the store and you're looking for an option to get outside of that because you're just tired of their business model, whatever, you're stuck.
Sam, going back to you were saying about your parents not being willing to download other apps. That's the difference, isn't it, between an Apple user and an Android user? Because if a load of friends said, I've got this app we've made a group chat on, I'll probably download it and do it.
Probably.
I'm quite open to try different messaging apps.
Again, and I guess, yeah, and it's because their thinking is, well, it just works. Well, I just send you a message and it goes to everything. Doesn't it go to
RCS then? Why aren't they going hard in with iOS RCS? Because that covers all devices, right?
Yeah, but why would Apple want to do anything?
Not Apple. Not Apple. Like Apple users. Why are they not embracing it more?
Go pick an Apple user and ask them what RCS is, and they'll have no fucking idea what you're talking about.
You can pick Android users and ask the same question.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Because again, I don't understand it. We'll sit there and shit will go viral, right? Hawk Tuah goes viral. Everybody knows what the fuck Hawk Tuah is because of some stupid video. Because some chick talks about it in a moment of being a regular person, talks about spitting on a dick, right? That becomes a major. Everybody knows it. Go ask anybody what RCS is, and they'll say, I don't know. Ask them what Hawk Tuah is. And they go, oh, yeah, it's that girl on video who talked about, the Hawk Tuah girl. Because it was everywhere. It was on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook,
that was
Twitter.
A bit crazy.
It was completely nuts. I said, but it just goes to show you, if nobody knows it exists, that's the thing with Duo and HTC. Remember, they had a couple commercials. They had one with Jason Statham, and remember and then they had the one with I think they had one with Gary Oldman, which is Gary Oldman. Do me yourself a favor, go look at the video of Gary Oldman listening to farts in his movies, and that he does with the one. Oh, God damn, I always forget. John Oliver is playing, or no, it's not John Oliver. It's another. I think it's Stephen Colbert or somebody who's watching his movies, like these really dramatic roles, and they're putting fart noises in his roles, and Gary Oldman is just crying, laughing. It's the most wholesome thing you've ever seen in your life. It's so he is such a great actor. I love him in every movie, but he seems like genuinely a good dude, and it's just funny. But what I'm saying though is
it's because men just laugh at fart noises.
Yeah, because we just laugh. Yeah, because it's just automatically funny. It's just if you need a laugh in any kind of a thing, just throw a fart, even if you fart on stage. Yeah, everybody thinks. But yeah,
Michael's come up with a good point here.
Yeah,
Google should call RCS Hawk Tuah services.
say you need Hawk Tuah services, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I know what that is." HTS, right? That's one. But do you get my point? I'm being kind of a flip about it. But what I'm saying though is these companies don't do anything to tell anybody that thinks it's a feature. It's like Google is like, okay, they don't even talk about their feature drops when they come out. They put out a video and they go, now they finally put them. Hey, when I show people now playing, it blows their mind away.
Sam,
like if you're in a store,
I've got a serious question for you that's been posed by Peter. Did you buy into her crypto? Is that?
Yeah. I don't buy crypto. Crypto is the biggest pyramid scheme in the history of the world, folks.
Well,
spend all your money. I don't care. Buy Doge, buy Bitcoin, buy whatever you want. It's a complete scam. I'm sorry. Nope. I'm not a crypto guy. Don't care. Not my thing. That's good luck. And then if you want to spend your money on it and you want to buy 25,000, you want to buy Bitcoin, rock out. Go for it. I don't like digital currency like that. I think it's all a scam. And if you're one of those people who got Hawk Tuah, good. Fuck you. Because you know what they always say, a fool and their money always part ways. So good luck to you. So anybody who bought the crypto that stupid chick put up there because of that shit.
That stupid chick.
No, she's stupid, man. And Americans are stupid for even it's a they all talk about the 15 minutes of fame, right? Right? That's exactly what that should have been. It was a funny little bit. It was great because it was a real organic moment, right? She wasn't trying to be famous. She was just talking about, hey, basically, how do you make your man happy? She's talking about basically oral sex. The fact that it took off and the fact that you even know that person exists outside of social media shows me that Americans generally are completely stupid about shit.
Well, the opportunities it opened up for her was unreal, really, and still now.
There's no reason for that should have ever happened.
Not really.
It's just some girl it was just some young woman at a thing talking about. It's like that should not have opened up you to be famous. There are many people who do a lot of great work in this world that would never get on a talk show.
Don't get recognized.
Don't get recognized. And they're really brilliant people who are doing work to, I don't know, make their society better. And you never hear of them. But I hear this stupid chick. No, go for it. If I could say something that would make me, find a way to leverage that and to have some extra cash in my pocket.
Sam, if we do the Nomad Tech project long enough, hopefully it will happen for you, mate.
Never. It's okay. But like I said, it's just one of those things where when it comes to RCS, nobody knows that it even exists. Even iPhone users don't know that it exists on their phones. And I mean, you could tell, but I mean, Becky tried to turn on RCS and it's kind of fickle. Maybe it's better now because I think it was when RCS was first getting established on iPhone. Maybe it's better now, but yeah. But then the funny thing is
that's a huge problem as well, because if that's happened to some iPhone users, right, that's going to put them off for good. They're going to be like, fuck that shit. I'm not using that.
Right. Well, and I don't blame them. It's like anything else they would use.
I wouldn't blame them either.
A new technology and it's flaky and it doesn't work and they don't like it. And then once they get a bad impression, a bad taste in their mouth, they're like, why? Oh, we improved it. I don't care. It wasn't that good the first time, and I don't really care. Right.
It needs to improve a lot.
Right. I think first impressions really matter. That's why when you're putting this stuff out there, like the Apple Intelligence, I really think that's going to sting Apple, because I think most of these users now, like, okay, I was supposed to put the phone, it's got all this intelligence and it doesn't do anything. It sucks. It's like, it sucks because Apple tried to rush it out there and it wasn't ready. And now their impression is terrible. It's Apple Intelligence has got a black mark on it. And once you kind of earn that spot, it's hard to get out of it. Yeah. Yeah.
Like you say, though, iPhone users won't stop buying iPhones, even if they're...
No, they just won't use that feature. They just, they just won't, because although
Which is weird, because AI is important to literally every other OEM. So, do you think Apple are going to continue investing in AI? They're going to have to, right?
Yeah, I think they have to. And I think they've actually looked into foldables and flippables, too. I think they've looked into... I think they're...
Oh, of course, yeah. They're silly not to.
But, I think at the end of the day, it's just like, it's whatever. I mean, it's a tech company trying to get behind the eight ball, and they try to do the best they can. They got screwed on it.
Someone's hungry.
No, my daughter's got home. So, What's worse is the original video, you can see that she was inebriated and not comfortable answering that question initially. Yeah. So it's just, whatever. So that's the problem with these. It's the RCSs and the duos and no HTC or LG. I mean, the problem is if nobody nobody knows that it exists and it's not advertised. And if they go into their carrier store and they're looking to upgrade, and all they're told by, not only if they see something on the wall, I've actually watched this happen. There's just been times I've been inside of the Apple Store or the AT&T store, either upgrading or waiting for something, or whatever. And I'm just sitting there kind of listening because I'm just kind of like paying attention to everybody. And you see people in little groups working on getting upgrades. I actually watched a sales associate. Somebody actually walked over to the corner and saw the Pixel. And I actually had a Pixel at the time. I think it was either the 7 or the 8. I can't remember. I was standing at the counter, but I was on the opposite end. And I watched the sales associate go, Pixels suck. They're not very good phones. You need to get a Samsung. If you're going to get, first of all, you should be getting an iPhone. But if you want to get an Android, do not buy a Pixel. It's garbage. The cameras aren't great. The processors aren't great. It's a pain in the ass. I've had people complain about the phone, and we've had people return Pixels left and right. They never return Samsung devices. And I'm sitting there watching it, and I almost wanted to say to the guy, I almost came off and said,
I don't know how you didn't.
Because I don't want to start a fight in the store, right? Because this guy would have got pissed off about it, but I'm like, first of all, none of that's true, and second of all, your job as an associate is to basically have a person ask, and you give them, okay, here's the phones. This is the things they do. Now they don't do these things, right? They don't come with a stylus. They don't do this. It's a little bit more of a scaled down Android device. So if you're looking for more of an operating system that has a lot of features, it's a different feature set. And it's going to get some used to, right? It's Android, but it's still a little different. So it's going to take some getting used to. So try to give yourself a little bit of patience while you're trying to learn how to use a Pixel. But they're good phones too. You can
done a poor job, that's for sure. That associate,
it's terrible because, but I guarantee you that happens all the time, everywhere you go. And I've watched it happen at least a handful of times in my experience. So I know if I've only seen it, and I'm in a AT&T store once a year or twice a year or once every 18 months, I guarantee you that happens every day. Yeah. And when you're a sales associate, now if you're at a Toyota dealership selling Toyotas, clearly it's one brand, right? If you're an Apple store, I totally get that you're going to sit there and sell an Apple device, either a MacBook Pro or
that's understandable why you would say it's better than every other phone.
But my thing is if you're an associate at a store that sells multiple brands and multiple OEMs and everything else, like if you go to a Best Buy, nobody
should be asking lifestyle questions. You should be saying, what's your use case? What do you like to do with your phone? And then marry that up to the phones. You shouldn't be just saying that's crap.
Yeah, well, I've gone to Best Buy and they sell they sell Apples, they sell MacBooks, they sell Chromebooks, they sell HPs. I see Alienwares, right? All sorts of phones, all sorts of devices, right? And every time I've walked in there, when it comes to the PC stuff, I've had people say, "Well, I've only used HP devices, but Legions are pretty good, Lenovo's are pretty good. If you want to spend a little bit more money, you can buy a Surface. It's going to cost you a little bit more because it's kind of but it's a pretty good device. They always seem to be a lot more. I've never seen anybody walk into like a Best Buy when it came to buying a PC or a laptop and they say, no, HPs are shit. You need to buy this. I've never seen them. Now they may say they're prone to failure. HP says some problems with displays, or they've had some problems with hard drives or whatever, but they've, you can give honest feedback and people can go online and look and see what the ratings are about a device, right? If they're buying a phone or a laptop. But I've never seen anybody when it came to a laptop, when there's multiple OEMs there, ever do that. But at a store that sells mobile devices, I see it all the time.
That's terrible. That makes me think it's not a good place to go to buy a phone in the US.
Well, and what it is you're either like us or like a lot of people who maybe do a little research beforehand and when they go to the store. Also, you got to pay attention too, because I walked into Best Buy, and if you go to the mobile side, you got to pay attention because sometimes they'll have Samsung people in there that are working for Samsung, not store associates. You got to be real careful because they'll have a Samsung shirt on. But sometimes some of the store people have a Samsung shirt on. But they say, oh, yeah, you need to buy this. And you even try to ask about a Pixel. I said, well, what about these Pixels? oh yeah, Google makes those phones, but really Samsung's, they'll just kind of walk you right back. They want to keep you because they're going to get a commission if they sell a Galaxy, right? As opposed to a Pixel or even an iPhone for that matter. It really doesn't matter. And I guess
the problem. Is it commission based in the US then? Networks?
I don't know. I don't think so at AT&T. Maybe there is. I don't know. I don't know if it comes from AT&T. It may come from like the OEMs. Maybe I don't know. I don't know anybody who works there, and maybe that's the case too. And if that's the case, that makes it even worse because now it's just a profit motive, right? Now everybody's like, well, if I sell 35, Galaxy phones instead of anything else, then I get a bonus. Well, shit, if that's the case, I wouldn't blame you at all.
Yeah, because O2 is the only network that isn't commission based at the moment in the UK, which I think is good. I think it's good from the sales associate's point of view, though. The sales advisor point of view, commission's good, right? So,
oh no, if that's really a thing, then I can completely understand, and actually would probably give them a little bit of a pass. Because that's not their fault that the commission's being offered. It's the fault of the either carrier or of the OEM.
Yeah,
that's doing that. There's no way I would ever blame anybody who's in a sales role or a sales associate or a sales advisor.
Been told I'm going to give you 50 quid if you sell that, tenner if you sell that.
Oh shit, fucking!
You're going to sell them 50 quid.
You could sell nuclear weapons to fucking everybody. You could sell missiles to people. I don't give a shit at that point because it's it's not their fault.
Sell what's going to give you money.
Well, they're trying to earn a living. I mean, these people, I don't know if you've been paying attention. It's hard to earn a living now in the United States and the UK, right? It's hard to make ends meet. So if they're told that if they get 50 extra quid for every Galaxy or every iPhone they sell, go for it. But that sucks because that shouldn't be a thing. It really should be giving people, again, like your point is perfect, asking what their use case is, and maybe their use case might lean them into a phone that's only $295 and they don't have to even do a installment plan. Or if they do, it's like $2 a month, right? So some of these older people are coming off of older phones. If you find out somebody's just calling and texting and doing some browsing the internet and some basic stuff, why wouldn't this fit the bill at $250? It would totally fit the bill, right? But if they're getting commissions, then they're never going to. That would explain why it's an iPhone and Android, or iPhone and Samsung world, which is a shame. Because I think I think that's really damaging to consumers, and really people are getting sold stuff they really don't need to buy, and getting into these contracts where they don't have to be just because it benefits carriers and companies, and that's just kind of crappy. I don't like that generally. I'm all about competition and entrepreneurship and capitalism and stuff like that. But to do it in a way that's underhanded because there's behind the scenes motivation to give people money to sell a bunch of shit, that's dirty, and I don't like that because it's really not taking care of people. It's a shame. Oh well,
it's a shame, but that's how the world works.
Yeah, well, if that's the case, then this world's shit
sucks.
Yeah, it's shitty. It's just not cool to do. It's not cool to do to people, especially people who just want to buy a phone and they don't, they just want something that works. They just want to be able to talk to their friends, see pictures of their grandchildren, or talk to a person, and they don't need to buy a $1,500 device when a $500 device would do everything they want and maybe more, because then if they drop the phone, how much worth, if I were to crack this device right now, I literally wouldn't care. I would be upset about it, but I'm like, okay, well, it happens, right? I've cracked my Razor. I didn't have a case on it. There's a reason why there's a case on this, because if I broke this at $11.99 or $9.99 or whatever, it sucks. It's going to be I have to file a claim. That's $200. Well, I don't want to spend money. Luckily, I would just switch the phone out, right? But
so you mentioned earlier about like your parents having the iPad. That's a better way to go for most people, right? Get an older iPhone. And get yourself an iPad if you haven't got one.
Right. I mean, I've used this a lot.
Oh, you're loving that OnePlus. Yeah.
I love the one. This is great. Like when I'm sitting in bed and stuff like that, because it's nice. I get the big old screen. I can watch a movie. When I'm playing a card game.
That's a sweet spot. What size is that?
This it's the OnePlus Open, or the OnePlus Pad, the first one. So I think 11.6.
Yeah, I think that's 11 inches is a sweet spot for a tablet.
For $288, got a portfolio case, which it doesn't have a little. I don't think the guy the guy that sold. I don't think he ever used the goddamn thing.
Yeah,
And even on
nice.
on here, I mean, there's not a scratch on it. I don't think he ever used it. I think he used it for a couple months and just put it in a box. Dude,
Some
it was
people
less than $300.
more money than sense.
Dude, yeah, it was like less than $300. It was crazy. I'm like, dude, I got a charger with it. It's really been. I didn't think I would ever need a tablet. I don't need a tablet, but to use it. But man, I've been really impressed with the OnePlus Pad. It's been really, really good. I mean, I could have got the newer one for, I think the best I could find was like $460. Yeah, but for $300,
wait for the next one to come out now. If you're gonna go for a more premium one.
No, I'm gonna keep with this one until it doesn't work, because I mean it just got an update on it, so it's been updated pretty good.
Yeah, OnePlus are quite good, aren't they, for updates? I think.
Oh yeah, 11 point. Look at me, just guessing. 11.61 inches. Hell, there you go. I just guessed. I don't like the really large ones. Like I guess the Pros, I think like 13 or 14.
That's what she said.
Yeah, I know, right? 11.6 inches. You'll be all right. Actually, you might not get a date. Just saying. They always complain that it's too big. Well, whatever. No, I've really been impressed with it, especially for the price.
Yeah.
So it's pretty good. The only thing I wish I'd had is the little keyboard thing.
Yeah.
But I can just
get yourself a Bluetooth one.
Yeah, just get a little Bluetooth keyboard, $20.
Yeah.
Just buy one.
Did a job on it.
Yeah, it's all good. It's not about the size, it's about how you use the tablet. Yeah, that's true. It's not about the size. It's not about the size of the ship. It's about the motion of the ocean, right? Okay, good deal. All right.
To be fair, my Ultra tab's a bit too big sometimes.
Oh, okay. It's a nice piece of kit, though. I mean, it's nice.
It's beautiful. Yeah, it's a beautiful screen. But it just is a bit too big sometimes. So I think I'm gonna eventually sell that.
Yeah, I mean, I
want to get a laptop. Really do want to get a laptop.
Yeah, well, I mean, get one of those X Elite ones that are pretty nice, right?
Yeah, there's a guy selling one on the MeWe classified group, but I can't afford it right now. So, damn it.
That's okay. You know, it's always what happens, right? It's always about a
at the wrong time.
Right. It's always we just don't have enough money to buy all those little gadgets we'd like to buy. I know it sucks, right? We have like responsibilities and shit. Yeah,
I'm gonna take it easy this year.
But I said, me too. I'm going to try to in 2025. I mean, like I said, I don't mind spending the money on this tablet, because hopefully I can keep that for a couple of years. And I don't think I'm going to use it outside the house. It's just going to be like around the home. So, but I've had a lot of luck with it. It's really been nice. I kind of like it. Although now I'm kind of
around the house.
Now I got all this stuff, right? I got a Pixel, right? I got a Moto. I got a Xiaomi Band. Right, I got my Galaxy Watch instead of I got a OnePlus. I'm shit all. I don't have one.
Just quickly on the Xiaomi Band, you'll be really pleased to hear John Trimmer. You know John Trimmer, who listens to the show. He said he's loving the Xiaomi Band.
Yeah,
and I said, dude, Sam would love to hear that.
Dude, it's like $40 and it's great. Again, you can't take phone calls on it. But I mean, I think I charge this once every 2 weeks, and it takes like an hour and a half to charge. And dude, it's nice. I mean, it does fit. I don't really use the fitness tracking, so I don't know if it's accurate. It might be. I don't really know. But I use it for in the morning when I'm wearing it, because it vibrates. So instead of like making a noise and waking Becky up, if I get up early, it just vibrates on my wrist and wakes me up. Dude, it's
dude, sleep track at all?
Yeah, I mean, basically it's a little alarm, and it gives me basic notifications, and the battery lasts 2 days. And the best part, I think I bought this brand new for I think it was like $47 off of Amazon.
Which one's that now?
I think it's the Mi Band 8. I can't remember.
8. So what are they on now though? Is that a newer one then?
I think it's fairly new. I mean, I've actually had 3 of them. This is the third one. The one I had before. This is Here, I'll show you.
Xiaomi Band 9.
Yeah, see, look
now.
Yeah, Mi Band 8.
So it's not quite new then.
Yeah. The only thing I don't like is the old Mi Bands. This was the phone itself, but now the straps actually insert into it instead of like the old one. It was a pill, so it just was like a holder. So you could get any. I mean, there was tons of straps for it. Now, because the straps actually insert into the frame of it, I used to have a bunch of. I had a really cool one. It was like a nylon.
Link to all your phones quite nicely as well.
Yeah, I've never had. Although it won't connect to my. Well, I have to try it. Oh, here's the thing. I'm going to tell, and I don't see if anybody else has had this problem. And this is with my Pixel. Any wireless earbuds, I cannot. It always pauses for a second. Like I'll be listening to a video, and it'll just pause.
What,
It's
randomly?
like it loses connection, and it'll reconnect after like 6 or 7 seconds. But it happens every 10 minutes or so. I can't get through one video without it happening. And
That's
I thought,
really
well, I'm going to.
poor.
Yeah. I don't know what the deal is. I tried it with my Pixel Buds. I thought, well, that's weird because the Pixel Buds. So I bought the
That's what you're saying by the pill shake, like you could do stuff like that.
But I bought the Sony. These are the WFC 10s or whatever. $50.
No, look, the Xiaomi band. Look.
Yeah, you can just connect it to shit. Yeah. You just connect it to your phone. I mean, your foot. Well, the only thing is, and so I factory reset it, thinking, well, maybe it's something. Nope, still doesn't work. I've never had that problem, and I think on my Mi Band, I cannot get it. The Pixel will not recognize the Mi Band.
Up to 21 days.
Yeah, I get about 2 weeks. About 2 weeks before it goes dead, and I just run until it dies. And then I got a little magnetic charger. I plug it into my desk here. It takes like maybe an hour or so to charge, and then you're good.
Yeah, it won't take too long, will it?
Dude, it's if you just need notifications and you need some basic sleep tracking and basic fitness tracking and you don't need a big old smartwatch for $40, man, you just can't beat it. I mean, I think it's a steal, and I think more people would really do well if they had a chance to Mi Band.
Yeah, it looks like a nice nice bit of kit.
Yeah, I mean, especially for the price.
For the price, yeah, this one's.
Yeah, I mean, if it dies or you break it or you lose it, spend $45 and get a new one.
This one's Xiaomi UK. I think it's.
If you go on, I always buy them on Amazon, but
yeah, there's a lot of Xiaomi on Amazon. $34.99.
Giving it away. I mean, that's nothing. That's not even $40. Yeah, and it works great. The only thing I've had issues with it connecting to my Pixel. It will not connect to this device.
Just Pixel though. Your Moto, your Duo, everything else is fine.
Everything else perfectly fine. My Wing,
that's weird.
Connect to everything. It will not detect it. It doesn't even come up on the list. Yeah, I don't know what it is. So whenever if I need a wearable for when I'm using my Pixel, I'll just use my Galaxy Watch because it's paired to my Galaxy Watch. But the problem is the Galaxy Watch, I only get a day out of it before I have to put it on a charger again. I have to think about it all the time. With the Mi Band, I don't think about it all. I think I bought new straps. I think the straps are like the only thing I don't like is this is the actual the actual strap, and see how it kind of connects like this. But the problem is anytime I bump it all the time and it comes on. It doesn't. You know what I mean? This thing just it's too susceptible to being bumped and then coming on loose. So there's been a lot of times where I've been using the Mi Band and all of a sudden I'll bump it against the sink or I'll be taking the shirt off or whatever, and it hits that clasp and it kind of pops the clasp and then it falls off.
Oh, there's a Smart Band 9 Pro.
Yeah, I think they're up to the 9s. Yeah, I mean, I think the Pro version is might be $60.
Yeah, $62.99. But you're going to get 150 sports modes on there.
Yeah, Mi Band 9. You can buy it on Amazon, or actually, it's on their global website. Yeah, dude, I basically get a new one every time, man. I just, like I said, just upgrade them. 21 days of battery life. Yeah, it looks nice. Again, these are crazy. They got like chains. They got like leather straps for women and stuff. This is
I've seen that. There's loads going.
Pretty cool, dude. I mean, again, if you have to buy a wearable,
kinky
you have
leather straps and all sorts.
Right. And here's the thing: if you're in a situation where you have an Apple Watch, because I think the best wearable is an Apple Watch by far. By far, the best wearable.
If you've got an Apple device,
phone. But if you just need basic notifications, you don't need all that. Man, I'm telling you, you can't go wrong with the Mi Band. I highly recommend to anybody who's just, again, trying to just buy a device that just gives them some basic little tools, nothing crazy. It basically gives you a couple of notifications.
Just quickly, Sam is not sponsored by Xiaomi or Moto.
No. I tell everybody what works for me. I don't care if anybody ever buys them. You don't have to buy them. That's totally cool. I get it.
But if you do, check out his affiliate link. Now, joking.
I have no affiliate links because I'm never.
You should get one, Sam. You really should. Because I think ever since we've done Nomad Tech Project, you have always spoke about the Xiaomi Band, which you've been consistent with that.
Yeah, it's to me, for the price and for what it does, it is criminally underrated. And for anywhere from 35 to 50 quid, if you want any kind of a smart device that gives you notifications, the only thing I wish it did have, which is what I kind of like, is you have to buy it, is it doesn't have any kind of like, I wish it had a golf mode where it did some golf tracking, like in your swings and stuff. That would be pretty cool. If they had that, like because it was on my my Microsoft Band, they had courses and everything on the band. That was cool. Like, I really wish, and so if they can do it, it can be done. If I wish, that's the only thing I wish, is that companies would do that. But for 40 or 50 bucks,
you should be a Xiaomi Band ambassador. And,
dude, I think for people who would use these things, the only problem is I tried to talk to my father-in-law into one, but he needed a screen he can see, so we got him like a more of an Apple Watch kind. We got him an Apple Watch finally because he has an iPhone. But I mean, for $50, it's a good deal. I really think. Yeah, golf. I play golf. I approximate playing golf. I don't actually play. I'm terrible. I've never shot under 100. So
he hits the ball.
I hit the ball. S4 has it. Yeah, I know what S4 is. What's that? Is that a company or something?
No, S4 must be something else. Let's have a look.
Okay. So anyway, but yeah, I mean, I'm just telling people. I mean, if you want a nice little thing, check out the Mi Band. I think it's pretty. I've had the 4, the 5.
It's
the
7,
the
watch,
the 8.
Sam.
Oh, the S4.
S4 watch by Xiaomi.
Okay, there you go.
Looks quite nice.
Maybe I'll upgrade. S4 watch by upgrade. Okay, yeah, maybe.
To be fair, it's not a massive cost.
Yeah,
it's not a massive cost. Up to 15 days battery life. So it's not. Yeah. You lose a few days, but.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
it looks slick.
This is what. Oh, this is on eBay, so that doesn't count. I'm trying to look. I mean, yeah, S4 watch.
Oh, pine green looks nice.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it does look nice. That green one, yeah, that's pretty slick. I don't know how much it costs though. How much is it? Oh, it's under 130 quid. Okay, I see.
Treat yourself, Sam.
Nah, I like my I don't play golf.
It's got NFC.
Much. There you go.
Do some James Bond paying for stuff.
Yeah, I got NFC. You got the Watch S4. Yeah, it looks nice. Health and fitness tracking. 15 days battery life. Okay, that's cool. Starting at like $150. You got $130 for the LTE with eSIM, or $150 for the
sold
LTE.
To Sam. Well done.
Yeah, maybe. I might, if I'm looking to upgrade, I might give it a chance. I think that might.
There's fall detection.
So the Smart Band Pro also has golf. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's got the extra sports on there, 150. It has the same on the 9 Pro. But I think if you're gonna, I think you should get the watch, Sam.
Nah, I don't want the watch. I don't need any of that stuff.
It's not about need, is it, Sam?
Yeah, sometimes it's about need. It's a little bit. Oh, it's like a bigger.
Yeah, it's a bigger.
Like a pebble-looking kind of thing. Okay. Yeah, and our buddy Uncle Spurt, has a review on it. That's smart. Well, if Spurt has a review on it, then I'm gonna check it out because he's my man. I love watching Spurt's videos, but also if he says it's a pretty good deal, I might check it out.
When you say you love watching Spurt, you're like, what tabs has Sam got open right now?
Yeah. Well, anyway, so we got a lot of talk going on, right? I mean, hell, it's been almost an hour and a half, and I basically
it's easily done, Sam. It's easily done. We could go on forever.
But we're not going to subject our fans to that, so we appreciate that. And like I said, I know I get worked up over this stuff, but I don't know, man. It's just the way I see the world. And again, if you want to go ahead and do all the things that I said you shouldn't do, go for it. And I still love you guys, and so it's all good. We can live in a world where I think it's silly, but it's cool. I mean, I really just wished when it came to consumer tech, I really wish it was a little bit more. People, at least in the smartphone market, had choice around the world globally, and it just sucks.
Yeah,
I wish but maybe things will change. Who knows? Maybe you
never know.
Like nothing phone coming out there. If they can maybe break into the United States and they can have a market where you can buy them at a Best Buy, maybe who knows? Maybe they can disrupt that market and kind of get in there. And who knows? I mean, we'll see. I think the nothing phones are pretty cool. If you ask me, I think that Stuff's neat. It's a little different. You got the glyphs. I know it's gimmicky, but it's something different. Gives you something
I
else
like
to.
it. It's fun.
I think it's pretty cool, and it just looks fun. I mean, what the hell? Why not? They're trying to differentiate themselves, and who knows? You got the 3A coming out. Who knows? Maybe we can do it.
R.I.P. to George Foreman, by the way. Legendary boxer.
Oh yeah, I know. I saw that he passed away, and so did Kitty Dukakis.
Yeah.
Who, if you're not an American, you won't know who she is. But she was Michael Dukakis ran for president back in 1988 and against George Bush, and that was his wife. She passed away as well. I can't believe Michael Dukakis is still alive. He's like 90 something. Holy cow! But yeah, I saw the George Foreman pass away. That's kind of seemed like a nice guy. Actually, probably made a lot more money doing the George Foreman grill.
He certainly did. Yeah.
His boxing career, his entrepreneurship's pretty cool. So yeah, man, I've had one of those George Foreman grills.
Apparently, it was offered to Hulk Hogan first.
Oh, really?
He declined it.
Well, who knows, right? It's funny how life turns out like that. Sometimes you get offered something, you pass on it, and it turns into a thing. And well, Hulk Hogan could have been a millionaire or billionaire or whatever. But
I'm sure he's got a fair bit of money anyway. But yeah, George Foreman definitely got a lot of out from the old grill deal.
Yep. So anyway, but yeah, so unfortunately, we lost a good man and George Foreman, a boxing legend. So that's awful. But anyway. His grill will go on probably. So who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, and his family will hopefully reap the benefits of his work. So that's cool. So anyway, anything else, Joe, before we check out for the rest of the day and have a good weekend?
No, we probably should just check out. Maybe just say skin your shit, extremeskins.co.uk.
Yeah. Check them out. Let them know we sent you and go look at some of their stuff. They got a lot of nice kit. You can change the color of your phone. So if you don't, the fact that all they had available was the black and you wanted to kind of jazz it up a little bit, plus gives you some color, but also offer some protection against scratches and dings and stuff like that. So man, check it out. And then also if you don't like it, peel one off and buy another color and change it out every couple of months or so. And you can kind of have something fun to do. I mean, we
often do buy one, get one free on Wednesdays, I believe.
Yep. Absolutely. Check them out and let them know we sent you. And they're a good company, good group of chaps and ladies over there. So check them out. Let them know we sent you. Again, skin your shit. And that's it. So for myself, we are, I'll reach out to Michael Peppertech again. We might do a record because the show won't be recorded. I mean, it won't be live stream with this guest. So if you've been a fan of the show, you know there's only one person we've ever had on that has been recorded this way.
That'll give it away. That would give it away. So go start scanning your things, and you can figure it out. But we've had this gentleman on before. And, great guest.
It'll be
really great.
Fantastic. Guest. I am looking forward to it. I always love talking to these guys. Him and his partner both. So it'll be a good time. And then we'll see about maybe recording that show earlier than maybe going live if we get Michael Pepper. You'll have a buy one get one on the show. You'll have a recorded show you can download, and then we'll have a show we actually live stream. So that'll be good. And always, thank you very much, Jimmy. Appreciate the $5. Awesome, sir. Thank you so much for doing all that. And Nick, thanks. I hope we had an entertaining show. Hopefully I didn't drive everybody crazy. And we'll see how. And we might have a 2-for-1 next week, so we'll check it out. And we appreciate you guys, and thanks for tuning in and downloading the show afterwards, and always being supporting the show. We really appreciate that. It makes us
absolute legends.
Right, makes it a lot of fun, and we really appreciate you all. So. For myself and for Joe and for the chat, thanks so much for tuning into the Nomad Tech Project with Sam and Joe. We'll be back next week with a show recorded and possibly a show streamed. For myself and for Joe, take care. Enjoy your week. Enjoy your tech. Don't be a dick. And we'll see you next week. Take care.
Bye-bye.